yeah, as it kind of progressively gets worse and worse, and yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate when that sort of thing happens. Like I said, like people making mistakes, and I've just made one because my scene selector stopped working. So yeah, a little bit of talking. So describe the game state really. The pool went down on 15. The hatchery didn't get blocked by Affinzan, so that's coming down now. And looks like Logic is about to establish his third. Affinzan going for that 16 Forge, getting the Nexus fairly quickly, and he's going to wall off with his Cybercore, making himself completely safe. So we're all cut up, so it's all good.
Absolutely. So, as you said, we are caught up, and this is a fairly standard game at the moment. We are seeing Logic's Overlord is going to head into Affinzan's base and see everything. So he will see the Forge fast expand if he heads down there, and he will see not much else because there isn't really much else to see. He will see the double gas if he chooses to go in that direction.
Yeah, it's always good to have an Overlord in there, but you've got to remember to get it out of there before the first sentry or the first Stalker comes, because at the end of the day, that's, you know, it's a supply depot. You know, it's 100 minerals. It's very, very valuable to have on the map, so there's no point losing it for free. But if you can get this Overlord in there and out of there before anything kind of shoots at it, then there's no point not doing it, really. We do see the Zealot now moving out across the map, and it is going to pressure this third, which is great to do in these sort of positions. At least I hope.
Absolutely. Zealot not being that active at the moment, and there is a sentry on the way out as well. Looks like the Zealot is now active only because it's been forced to be, as it has been aggroed by that Zergling. And, of course, sentry is on its way out, and that will tickle this Overlord, hopefully to death, but we will find out soon.
Yeah, Zergling's still making a run for it, but is going to get caught by the Zealot, and you know, a little bit of fancy Zealot micro. This is going to force a few links, because this Zealot is going to make its way into the third. No, it's just scouting and coming back home, so strange play here by Affinzan. I think he's not quite on the ball today.
Indeed, doesn't appear to be that aggressive, which you really should be if you have this first Zealot out, but it's just not really doing anything at the moment. It's just chilling.
No, and Sixlings in production now, making their way down to that Zealot. So these Sixlings are going to kill this Zealot, and he could have got some. He probably wouldn't have killed the hatchery, but he could have definitely got some damage on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Would have been nice to see it get some damage. This Zealot is finally going to be picked off by these Zerglings. Good micro there from Fluid Logic, manages to save a fair amount of his Zerglings on fairly low health, so good micro there. There are 2 sentries up at this natural expansion, so these Zerglings won't get in, but unless, of course, Affinzan is very lax on his attention paying.
Yeah, and right now I could see Zerglings making their way through, to be perfectly honest. Affinzan kind of just a little bit slacking here, but, you know, we've sung his praises so much, and he is a great player, so hopefully he kind of picks up his game a little bit. We are seeing some minor mistakes. Not going to cost him the game, but, you know, definitely costing him slight advantages.
Absolutely. We are seeing these Zerglings break down these rocks to the natural expansion of Logic, so he will be able to drone up a lot easier and defend a lot easier once he has joined up that creep, as we will see him doing fairly soon. These spawn positions are also fairly good, as you can just spread the creep very easily to your opponent's base. There is not that much distance at all.
No, but it's also in favour of the Protoss, of course, because they are actually expanding the third towards the Zerg player. And, you know, you can walk your army very, very quickly to their third, you know, if you're not careful. And it allows you to establish this third base very, very quickly. But right now there's a Ling kind of working on the Nexus spawning in there. And these rocks are still up, so, you know, these Lings are actually going to make their way in and do some damage. It might actually force a cancel. No, some Zealots being walked in.
These sentries, their incredible DPS, was able to break down the rock, so he is having to bring a large chunk of his army round. Oh, he appears to have just gone onto his ramp to do exactly the same job as he was doing inside his base, and now there are roaches.
Yeah, but these roaches probably won't do any damage. With some good force fields here and Disimortal, these roaches will not be able to touch anything. We do see the gateway wall being finished off right now, and this is what makes this map so good for Protoss. You have to engage a Protoss up a ramp, and it's usually against a big scary army, but we see the Lings now working their way down this gate. If this gate falls, that's really bad, but the sentries and the mortals making their way back through, and I hear you whimpering in the background there, Chris. If that gate would have gone down, it would have been a very big deal.
Absolutely, that was very close. Almost got that gateway down, but saw this army coming in for Afamzan, and what did pull back, but that was very close and was probably fairly scary for Afamzan.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, when your sentries are out of position, that cannon's not finished, and one of your warping in buildings is kind of almost going down with a massive army standing outside of it, that's very bad. And of course, because Afamzan has gone for this very, very quick free base, his unit count is very, very low, as we can see the army supply actually favouring Logic by about 20 supply. So that's really, really big when you consider that's 10 roaches or 40 lings. So yeah, it's very, very scary to kind of looking down the barrel of the gun, if it were, at that Zerg army just outside your third.
Absolutely. It does look like Afamzan, as you said, though, due to this map, is in a fairly decent position. Is there a Baneling nest down for Afamzan? Because this looks like the kind of ling amounts you would have when you're going for a Baneling bust.
I can't see one. I didn't see one being built. But we do see the Colossus, the Stargate, and the Dark Shrine coming down. Afamzan having a finger in literally everything right now. And
build all the things.
Well, you know, someone goes, you know, DTs are quite good, so I'll build some of them. And Colossus are good, so build a couple of them. And I heard Void Rays are pretty good, so I'll build a couple of them as well.
DT's Void Rays and Colossus. What a horrific attack.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, these spawn positions kind of force the Zerg. If you look at his now 4th base, that is so far away, and that is so easily exploitable. We do see a fleet beacon coming down now. What the hell is Afamzan playing at?
If he goes carriers, I will be the happiest man on this earth. There is a Warp Prism out as well, and Void Rays in production, so we're seeing Colossus DT, Immortal, Sentry, single Zealot, no, couple Zealots, Stalker, Void Ray, and now either carriers or Mothership.
I'm guessing it's for the Mothership Archon, because I think he's read this game as the Zerg is going to turtle on 3 bases, get that Broodlord Infestor count, and it looks like Afamzan is moving out for this 4th base, but the Zerg must know about it, because he's kind of repositioning his army.
There we go, there's the Mothership.
Yeah, but right now this army, it's so hard to tell, because Lings die very quickly to this, but of course there are Infestors, and there are a lot of Lings, so...
there are a lot of Zerglings at the moment, and there are Infestors. Nice attempt at a drop with that Warp Prism, but the Warp Prism does get killed off by the Spore Crawlers. Not that much attention being paid there. And as you said, there's a Spire coming down as well, and Ultras coming up. Both players going for the build everything approach.
Yeah, I mean, Zerg unit's pretty good, Protoss unit's pretty good. I want all of them, and
yeah, why not?
I've not seen a fight where the composition kind of, you know, it's a bit of everything composition. Usually see, you know, Broodlord Infestor Roach, Broodlord Infestor Corruptor, etc., or like, you know, Immortal Sentry Stalker, you know, Stalker Zealot, Void Ray or whatever, but you never see Immortal Stalker Zealot, Colossus, DT, Mothership, Archon versus Ultra.
No, sorry to interrupt quickly. The 4th base was killed off with no cancel by all those Zerglings. So really good attack there by Logic, who is almost max now. And if you have a look at Afamzan's army, it isn't that impressive.
No, but it is a lot of supply. Like another Colossus joining and clearing up creep. It is actually 80 supply worth of units. There's Void Rays and Colossus costing so much supply. And obviously the Immortals costing supply as well. And we are seeing the mix around.
There's no force fields. The Colossus go down instantly. Oh on everything.
God.
Afamzan is decimated by this. Void Rays are sitting in the sky doing a fair amount of damage, doing a fairly good job. They are still alive, but that's all that's left. Jeez. Random words. Reddit enhancement suite. GG out of Afamzan. And Logic takes his first game.
And it looks like we are just about ready to jump into the game, and yeah, Afamzan unfortunately losing to a very, very harsh engagement there. But right now we have his teammate Rocky coming up, and it is going to be a ZVZ on Cloud Kingdom, and we haven't seen the ZVZs today, so this should be interesting. Chris, your mic is muted again, isn't it?
Son of a... We've only seen Protosses versus Zergs and one Protoss versus Protoss, so still no Terrans today, but we are now seeing a Zerg versus Zerg. This is kind of reflecting the pro scene at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of Zerg, a lot of Protoss, not a lot of Terran recently. Why'd you... I don't want to put you on the spot there, but why do you think that is?
I don't know. There's been a lot of talk about it being something to do with new updates, but if you have a look at the amount that have been entering tournaments lately, it's been very low, and this may be a coincidence, this may be a hint. There was a thread a while ago on Team Liquid that asked about players switching races, and the biggest two changes were Terran to Zerg and Protoss to Zerg. Then it was Zerg to Terran and Protoss to Terran. No one switches to Zerg anymore, to Protoss anymore, apparently.
No,
the biggest changes, and I mean by a huge margin, were to Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, Zerg was on these like underdog races for quite some time. Like, you can see like during the recent patches that have happened that Zerg have been getting a lot of kind of improvements, a lot of buffs. Same along with Protoss. And right now, Terran are feeling really, really frustrated with the matchup. Protoss are feeling really frustrated with the matchup. But I think it's because the game's evolved so much for Zerg, but it's kind of stagnated a little bit for Terran. So, you know, it's kind of like old dog, new tricks. But, you know, it's... I don't know right now. I'm not a balance designer, so we'll see in the next month or so like what happens to Terran anyway. But yeah, we do see a slight variation in the game we are watching right now, so probably best to focus on that. Rocky going for the 15 hatch, while Logic going for the much more kind of safe 14-14. But it will force him to kind of put some aggression on with that earlier speed. So, you know, it's kind of what I'm expecting to see is Logic go more than likely straight for Bain lanes, if not Ling pressure into an expansion. And then, of course, Rocky getting those Bain lings as well to defend. And then either Roach or Muta battles, which is the joy of ZVZ.
Absolutely. It doesn't look like this is going to be a 14-14. Logic is now supplying up to 20 with Lings. Looks like he's going for this early Ling pressure to try and punish this fast expansion out of Rocky.
Yeah, 6 Lings is 2 more than we usually see. We usually see 4. But of course, it does mean that the fast expanding player can get those 4 Lings and a Queen by the time your Lings kind of start being annoying. So we are going to see now Logic moving across the map with these 6 Lings, 4 being followed by 2. And this is going to force a reaction out of Rocky. And if he doesn't start making Lings, this could get pretty dicey for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have seen a Spine Crawler go down, but as you said, there aren't any Lings out on the field. There are some in production, but the Lings are already here. Cancel the Spine Crawler, kill off 1 drone, 2 drones, and will they get the third? They get the 3rd drone,
Yeah.
so that's already 3 drones killed, and only 2 Zerglings and the Queen out. So the Queen will obviously really help with this defense, but it looks like Logic is just going to dance around, do whatever he wants really, and his speed is just about to finish up, so this will be a huge advantage, and... there it is. There is that speed, and whoosh, off go those Zerglings. Doesn't look like we're going to see any reinforcements from Logic. He is just throwing down that Baneless for defense against any counterattack. But in fact, he has that speed now. He can dance all over the place, straight past the Zerglings and into the main base, straight past the Queen and into the mineral line. Kills off another drone, and he is just going to be able to dance around wherever he wants, just killing off drones left, right, and center here.
Yeah, every drone is so valuable at this early stage, and he's managed to actually kill 7 workers. Wow.
7 workers and forced out a Spine Crawler.
That
if you look
be
at
8.
Logic's face, that's
9?
a very big comparison. Oh my god.
9 workers killed with just a few Lings, and wow, what the hell is going on?
What?
Logic's drones have been misrallied.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, misrallied, and they all get killed off. That is very unfortunate. The fudge.
Indeed, that's what I would be saying right now. Is the fudge like?
Thank you for keeping it PG, Logic.
Yeah. Well, you know, he kills off 9 drones, but loses 3 himself to just misrally.
Maybe he just wanted to even it up a bit.
Yeah, he felt, yeah, I don't really want to win this one. I'll just, you know, be a bit nice about it. We do see some Bain lings.
I don't want to be ahead by this much.
Yeah.
Let's make it a bit more even.
Yeah, you know, I'm just
if
playing.
If he's closer to me, our timings will be more similar, and I'll know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you know, I'm playing for my team here, but, you know, we'll let them win a couple. We'll let them win a few. We do see the Bain lings now, and they could get them.
Oh, so close.
I hate ZVZ.
There we go, kind of headbutted, that Zergling does go down, and he's trying to pick off these Banelings, but the Queen and the Spine Crawler are able to defend these easily. That Baneling is just taking so many hits though. He is already on half health, and there are many more Zerglings he can suicide in, and 18 more in production. Looks like Rocky is going to go for an attack.
Yeah, he has to do some sort of aggression. He needs to even out this drone count. As you can see, Logic now 6 drones ahead, just made 9 more, so currently is 15 drones ahead. And as long as he defends fairly well and he keeps a Baneling count high enough, he should be able to hold any sort of aggression. A great little engagement there for Logic as well. I almost missed it. He did manage to kill off yet a few more Zerglings, and but they are getting surrounded, and right now Logic should know there's a lot of Zerglings on the field. I need to do something. So hopefully he does manage to react, and he is getting 16 more lings out.
16 more lings and the second evolution chamber. He is already getting his +1 armor. Rocky has gotten his too, but his is a bit ahead. But because Logic is getting the second evolution chamber, he will be able to get fairly ahead on upgrades.
Yeah, we do see a slight differentiation in style here now. We do see that Rocky prefers to take his third, while it looks like Logic prefers to take that third hatch in his base and, you know, secure it and then move out and take a third. So, a little bit different. They will both end up with 4 hatcheries about the same time, I assume. And it looks like Logic is now on the move, moving out with a couple of lings and a Baneling, just making sure that this third does not go up. But Rocky does have a lot of lings waiting.
The ling advantage is definitely in favour of Rocky, but looks like Logic is going to try and lure him onto these 2 Banelings. Oh, this is so close.
Yeah.
And there we go. Here's the engagement. A couple lings do get killed off. Banelings run straight past. Logic lings do go down. One of the Banelings explodes on the hatchery, splits up his lings. Good engagement there by Rocky. Great micro, making those Banelings pretty much worthless, and he has forced Logic to retreat.
Yeah, a good engagement there for Rocky, actually, securing that third, making sure it stays out. And now you can see Rocky moving into that roach production, getting the layer. It is miles behind Logic's layer, but if Logic decides to go Mutas, then Rocky is in a lot of trouble. But he has decided to go for that Ling Infestor style, which has been made very, very popular recently. This Baneling gets another semi-decent hit, and you know, he's able to clear up the rest of these Lings right now. So yeah, good play on both sides, to be perfectly honest with you. Obviously now, you know, Rocky has the base advantage, but not the hatch advantage, and you know, Logic now has a tech advantage. He's cancelling the infestation pit. That's weird.
Absolutely, it doesn't look. That is a very strange thing to do, choosing to avoid infestors, it seems. Instead, he's getting Ling speed and continuing with the upgrades on his units. Looks like he's just going to try and go for a really aggressive play, whereas we can see Rocky is going to attempt to do the same and deny this third base with these Lings and these couple roaches. There we go, huge amount of Lings coming in for Logic, which will prevent these Lings from killing the hatchery, and he will have a couple left to try and do some damage to those roaches, but he wants to reinforce first. Couple more Lings though coming in into the natural expansion, while these roaches are just doing a lot of damage to the third base. This third base may have to be cancelled by the looks of it. A couple more Lings pop, but it doesn't look like there's enough here to deal with this, and the hatchery is cancelled.
Yeah, I'm really perplexed why he cancelled that infestation pit. Almost seemed like the perfect tech choice. Does he even realise he's cancelled it? Because he cancelled the infestation pit, but he didn't change it for anything.
I don't think he has. He's just continuing to... He's not even mining the gas if he was going infestors. One of his gas in his main isn't being used at all.
Could this be another case of stage fright? Oh my god, that's where the gas is going.
Where? Oh my god. Okay.
Can this do damage? I mean, there's a lot of roaches.
This has become very, very popular these days. It's very strange to see, but it's actually fairly popular. If he hits this third, though, there's very little there for him to kill. What I'd really prefer is he went straight into the natural. Yeah, but it doesn't look like he's going round the third. Banelings leading the charge, and they're going to go straight into these roaches. All the roaches are gone, but that is a lot of Banelings lost. Banelings just charging through now. They don't give a damn. Into the mineral line, killing off a couple drones. Not getting that many though. Great micro there by Rocky, and the Lings of Logic are still alive though. And that was pretty good. Killed off quite a few drones there. If we have a look at the drone kill count,
26 total. So yeah, really good. I mean, those Banelings kind of, they're not cost effective against roaches, but they can kill them. But I think the main goal of that was to kill as many drones as possible, take out as many roaches as possible, and make sure that that third goes down. And I think he achieved all 3 of his goals there.
Absolutely, his third is now his own third is just about to finish up. And as you said, the third of Rocky, it was destroyed. There are roaches out in the field, and they do have burrow, and there doesn't look like there is an overseer on the map yet for Logic, who is currently morphing one. And will he choose to make another mass transformation? He does have 600 gas.
Yeah, the infestation pit finally coming down again and going straight to Hive. So it looks like he is going to be banking that gas for the Ultras. Ling counter now surrounding the roaches, but I don't think they can do a lot of damage. And another Ling counter into the third of Logic. So both of them trading Lings for a little bit of gain, but the roaches are definitely going to win out here.
Yep, sorry to interrupt there. Logic has thrown down a fourth base as well, and all his drones have gone to that. He's completely used this third base as decoy, but the problem is, now there are Lings in Logic's main, and there's nothing here to defend against them. They're just being able to pick off all the queens and all the drones at the moment.
No, I think Rocky might think he's a little bit more ahead than he is, because taking out that third. He doesn't realise Logic has this other base. But right now, the roaches are coming in. They've stopped. Are we lagging? No, they've just stopped.
yeah, they've stopped and burrowed. That is very deceiving. But yeah, it does look like now Logic has the base lead.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
this is going to be such a huge advantage to him. He's just producing Lings.
He doesn't have any units to kill these roaches, and there is a lot of roaches.
He's just producing mass Ling and hoping there is a spine crawler out. There's the Bain Lings, but the roaches are already here. A spine crawler gets taken out. These Zerglings will hold off these roaches for now. Bain Lings are just about to finish up in a couple seconds. Roaches are being lured in. He's trying to micro backwards. There we go. Bain Lings incoming. The Bain Lings will cut off these roaches, but as you said, not that cost effective, and they are down. But here we go. Another huge engagement coming in.
There is a Bain Ling in there though, and it's going to explode. Oh, I guess a few Lings, but there are so many roaches.
But there are, as you said, so many roaches. Using 14 more Lings, actually still upgrading. And there goes the Ultralisk Cavern as you predicted, and Logic does hold.
Yeah, great hold there by Logic, just literally a few seconds in it. If he'd have got into those Banelings, that's a completely different outcome for both players, and really good cleanup. Unfortunately, it looks like Rocky has favoured the armor upgrades rather than the attacking upgrades, which makes these Lings actually pretty deadly. I mean, the armor upgrade doesn't affect the roaches as much as the weapon upgrade against Lings, because they can actually two-shot Lings with that weapon upgrade rather than three-shot, which, you know, by counting the amount of Lings is a massive, massive difference. But we do see the Ultralisk Cavern on the way, plus free armor on the way, and the adrenal glands, and it looks like Logic is set to kind of just roll over Rocky right now.
Just look at the production tab at the moment. That is the story of this game. Logic has killed off so many of Rocky's drones. All he can do is build drones, and Logic has expanded up to the top left as well. He's still got hidden expansions everywhere, and while Rocky is stuck rebuilding drones, Logic is building everything. He's upgrading everything. He's so far ahead on upgrades, and here we go. Huge Ling attack into the natural. There is not enough here to defend this. Spine Crawler will go down. Roaches will go down for Sparta. And it looks like, as he said, it is the number advantage is very much in favor of Logic, but the unit advantage is in favor of Rocky. However, there's no more units to have the advantage with. All the roaches are now dead, and he is just going to be able to kill everything right now. 9 more roaches in production, pulling drones to try and help defend this. And the Zerglings are all streaming up to the main base, killing off these drones, killing off the queen, killing off the roaches. They're slowly killing everything. More roaches are popping, and GG from Rocky. And well played, and Logic takes this second game.
And it looks like we're about to take into this game, which could be potentially the last one of this second best of 5 between Fluid and Firelight. They are sending out yet another Zerg, Blackbird, who I believe we've casted before.
If we have, I don't remember it.
I remember the name, but it might just because he hangs around.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have cast him before. We'll have to double check on that. However, he is playing up against someone who we definitely do recognize and has already won 2 games in this best of 5 series, Fluid Logic.
Yeah, I mean, he could get the all kill here, and that would be such a good achievement against such a good team like Firelight.
Absolutely. So, do you want to introduce the players?
I certainly will. Spawning down here on the bottom right hand side of Ohana Ladder Edition, we do have Fluid Logic, the Red Zerg, who is currently almost all killing his rival team here, Firelight, and Firelight have sent out Blackbird, spawning as the blue Zerg. So another ZVZ, and if the last ZVZ is anything to go by, Logic might just win this.
Absolutely. Logic has been dominating when it comes to ZVZs, and to be honest, any other matchup at the moment.
Yeah, I haven't really seen him play a lot of other matchups, to be honest. The ones I remember are the ZVZs, and he's always performed in ZVZ. Do you know if it's his best matchup, or...?
If I had to guess, I would say it's his best matchup. From what we've seen, any versus Zerg seems to be very, very strong when it comes to Team Fluid. I have noticed that. Like, Telef is another example of that. When they play against Zergs, they play well. They play really well.
Yeah, it might be because they have some good in-house Zergs. I mean, people they can practice against. You know, you see people that, you know, for example, the Slayers Terrans, their TVT is phenomenal. Because they have the world's best, you know, Terrans to practice against. So, it's kind of, what do you want to call it? A kind of, wow, mine's completely blank.
Oh no.
It's kind of like situational, really. Like, if you've got a lot of Protosses on your team, you know, versus Protoss is going to be very, very good.
It's almost evolution, adaptation to your environment.
Yeah.
If you're around a lot of Zergs, you learn to play well versus Zerg. It's as simple as that.
Exactly. I mean, that's why kind of teams will never have like one guy. Like, they'll never have a Protoss, a Terran, a Zerg. They'll usually have like 3 or 4 of each, you know, depending the size of the team. But they'll definitely have more than a race, because if you want practice partners, then there's no one better than your teammates, because they'll tell you honest stuff. Like, you know, Idra practicing against some unknown guy, and the unknown guy goes, "What did I do wrong?" Idra's just going to go, "You played bad." You know, and...
You play Protoss.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, if you can practice against teammates that are also good, then it's going to be so good for you. Like, and I think that's what we're seeing here, to be honest. I think Fluid have some good Zergs, so, you know, their Zergs are going to be very good in ZVZ.
Yep, absolutely. So that would explain it. We are seeing Logic attempt to do a bit of a poke on Blackbird, but Blackbird already has out enough lings to easily defend and repel this.
Yeah, 4 versus 2. 4's generally going to win. I've never seen a situation in which that isn't true. Yet to be surprised, though. I'd love to see some crazy micro, but I don't think there's much you can do with links.
I don't know, Colossus.
Yeah, I suppose.
I've managed to see Colossus. And Carriers is another example. If you have less interceptors, then 4 can easily beat 2.
Yeah, but in terms of...
beat 4. I maths.
I was going to say, in terms of lings, though, numbers usually matter.
Yeah, I suppose upgrades could make a difference, but I'm not sure. Would they make that much of a difference?
In high numbers, yes. Like,
yes.
If some guy has +1/+1 and it's 50 versus 50, then yeah. But if some guy has +1, like, attack versus, like, you know, 12 versus 10, it's not going to make that much difference.
Indeed, attack speed isn't high enough on Zerglings to make that much of a difference.
No, it's kind of disappointing, but most of the time you do see the upgrades being used more in ZVT versus kind of the Marine Ball, which you know, upgrades are really effective. And he might lose an Overlord here, and he does. That hurts. That's 100 minerals.
Absolutely, 100 minerals and 8 supplies, so definitely not something you want to be using. I think the only situation where it's acceptable to sacrifice Overlords is for scouting when you desperately can't get in any other way, or if you're doing some sort of drop.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you don't want to lose an Overlord for absolutely no reason, because it's literally like building a pylon in the middle of where they're going to pass through, and you don't want to. You never see a Protoss doing that on purpose. So you know, being careless with your Overlords is a little bit of an oversight. It actually takes a lot of focus. I mean, I watched Tefano kind of rally his Overlords into the middle of the map the other day and lose 5-6 of them. So, you know, even the best of the best can kind of fail at that. We just see Blackbird going for a very economical build right now. He is getting down that Rotron and Evo Chamber, almost like he's playing against Protoss. So, you know, interesting. 5 queens as well. That's a lot of queens.
Absolutely, and we also saw Logic attempt to send in a couple lings to do some drone damage, but these 2 spine crawlers and these 4 queens dominated those lings, and they got no damage done at all.
Basically, what this says is, if you're going to Bain bust me, I'm going to be ready. If you're going to like try to harass me with mutas, I'm going to be ready. The only thing that this is not good against is a massive roach all in, and it looks like, you know, Logic doesn't plan on doing that. He is taking a 3rd base, so he is going to play economically, not kind of build up that roach count, but as you can see, Blackbird is building up that roach count. We do see 8 roaches on the way with +1 and speed, so it looks like it might be a roach timing.
Absolutely, but this is almost the exact situation that happened last game, and Logic was able to defend it easily. However, in that game, he had the economic advantage. He was on a base less, but his harassment was so much better. In this case, he has a base more, but he has no harassment at all. And there is a Nidus worm going down for Blackbird.
Yeah, oh my god, it's going to be that roach +1 Nidus, and the Overlord is making its way into position. It doesn't look like Logic has spotted this. It just is off creep, and there is no Overlords in sight. If this Nidus goes down, it's going to be very, very hard for Logic to defend, as he does have less roaches and is not in a great position.
Absolutely. Logic has no idea this is going on. Obviously, he will hear the Nidus worm eventually, which is about to finish up. There are lings in production. This is going to be good, basically. Yeah, it's going to be very good. And the thing is, Logic is on the wrong side of his wall off. He's going to have to go all the way around this hatchery.
Yeah, Nidus worm coming down.
Evolution chamber. There we go. It's seen by the creep. So Logic is going to respond to this. There we go. All the roaches coming back. More units being produced for Blackbird. But it finishes up. Here we go. Lings will get in and they will surround the Nidus worm. And will they get it down? There's a lot of units coming out. Queens coming out as well.
Good transfuse.
Using the Nidus worm. So many units coming out. All the Queens coming out. They're killing everything. The roach advantage is in favour of Logic, and the upgrade advantage is once again even. However, those queens make a huge difference. Great transfuses. The roach is burrowing there, so they will stay alive for a while. More roach reinforcements coming in for Logic, trying to kill this off. He does have the unit advantages. There are queens around that are slowly killing off drones. No reinforcements in the Nidus worm, just a single queen at the moment. It looks like Logic will be able to clear this up. Oh, Blackbird. Very disappointed by that, and does retreat into the Nidus and will manage to escape out the other end. If he'd reinforced into that Nidus worm, he probably could have taken that.
Yeah, definitely. And Logic adding insult to injury, not only holding that massive attack, but also defending his 3rd right now. And we found out what the queens were for. It almost looked like Blackbird was going to win there, but some great burrow micro and some great foresight there by Logic, making a ton of roaches to defend that. And now he is on the warpath, and we do see Logic having 28 roaches versus Firelight's Blackbird's 9 roaches now. So this is a pretty one-sided fight.
Absolutely, these roaches are being dominated by Logic's roaches. He will just roll into this base. There is a hatchery going down to defend, but that will be decimated. Cancelled. There are some queens to defend, but there's no units. Spine crawlers will be destroyed instantly. And there we go. Well played from Blackbird. GG. And Fluid Logic all kills Team Firelight and takes this best of 5 series.
Yeah, absolutely amazing play from both sides there. Very, very interesting and unique play. And to be honest, I like seeing that. That Nidus worm is so uncommon.